Go to whirlwindgolf.com and click on Whirlwind Plus to learn about the best golf membership in Arizona. Here's an email from General Mike of the Unplugged Army. At the Whirlwind Golf Club free tournament yesterday, I had a free 9-hole round and every player received a bucket hat, towel, sunblock, after sun spray, plus drink and raffle tickets. After the round, Civlik had barbecue sandwiches, chips, and dessert. Since I brought my family to golf with us, I think that one event added up to 75% of the total cost of my Whirlwind Plus membership for the whole year. And we still have 2 more 2-person scrambles in the next 4 months. And that doesn't even take into account the prizes, the discounts you get with the LPGA Ford Championship, and always 15% off the Pro Shop and Civlik. No matter where you live in the Valley, if you love golf, go to whirlwindgolf.com and feel the wind.
Thanks for listening, Unplugged Army. I'm Louis Unga, General Manager at Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. We're proud to present Doug Franz Unplugged.
Form an offense.
Form an offense.
4 minutes.
Form an offense. Form an offense.
Everything you need to know in sports that affects Maricopa County, the state of Arizona, and the world, you get in 4 minutes. We start things off in Seattle, Washington. Today in World Cup, it's Group C and D. The first game, the United States of America takes on Australia in Seattle at noon. Weston McKinney, give us the rundown on what the Socceroos bring to the table.
They have size, that's for one. Balls in the box won't be easy to get on long balls. They have fast players up top. They can get in behind and be dangerous like that as well. But I think they're a team that's similar to us as well in a way that we play with a chip on our shoulder also. And we kind of have that mindset. We're together as a team and we fight for each other and we run endlessly and tirelessly. And yeah, I think they're very similar in that way. So I think it will be a great game and a great battle.
Big question on everybody's mind. Will Christian Pulisic be ready to play? Manager Mauricio Pochettino.
He's evolving. He's much better from Friday. We'll see. I think at the moment we see he's not available for tomorrow. Will be available for the next game. But I think he's doing a massive effort trying to be ready.
The other game in Group D is tonight. Turkey against Paraguay at 8 o'clock. 2 Group C games today as well. Scotland versus Morocco at 3. And Brazil and Haiti get it on at 5:30. Yesterday, Czechia and South Africa were level at a 1-1 draw. Mexico scored on a terrible goalkeeping error to beat South Korea 1-0. Those 2 games were in Group A. In Group B, Canada crushed Qatar 6-0 with Jonathan David having a hat trick. And Sweden was tied 1-1 and then crushed Bosnia-Herzegovina 4-1. Quick Suns news, Mark Williams and Kobe Bryant were both offered qualifying offers, meaning they're now restricted free agents, but they remain members of the Suns. That matters because until Mark Williams signs with another team, he holds an $18.8 million cap hold on the Suns salary cap. That decision, in combination with Devin Booker taking his jersey number, might show that Mark Williams will be part of a sign and trade deal. Coming up over the weekend, a lot of sporting events for you to choose from. Diamondbacks are home tonight. They take on the Twins. Michael Soroka goes for Arizona, 8-3, with a 3.11 ERA and a fantastic 107 whip. Minnesota will counter with Connor Prelip. He's 2-4 with a 5.26 ERA. Soroka will throw the first pitch downtown, 6:45. Then it's the Mercs' turn. They're home tomorrow afternoon. Phoenix is currently in 13th place. They take on 14th place Seattle. Tip-off downtown, 12 o'clock. Rattlers aren't home, but they're in Arizona. They travel down to Tucson to take on the 4th place Sugar Skulls. Rattlers are 1 spot ahead of them, but only have a 2-game lead. Kickoff in Tucson, 7 o'clock. And our last local team in action are the Rising. They're in 5th place. They take on 4th place Oakland Roots Saturday night, 38th Street Stadium at 7:30. 50 golfers still remain on the course to finish up their first round from yesterday at the U.S. Open. Wyndham Clark shot an incredible 6 under, and he still has 2 holes remaining. He's got a 4-shot lead over Rory McIlroy. Rory, what'd you think about your 2 under?
I think with the conditions today, anything under par is a good score. It was a day to really just keep yourself in the tournament and not shoot yourself out of it, which is exactly what I did 8 years ago here. Sort of went out with the mindset that pars were going to be good, and if you could pick up a couple of birdies here and there, that's That's always a bonus.
Supposed to be clear skies for the rest of the tournament, but wind will be an issue. And finally, so Japan is dealing with deadly bear attacks. Now, that part is not funny, but what is? They decided to have a bear hunt at the school, but they didn't shoot and kill a bear. They had a man dressed. I'm sorry. The pictures of this guy are so stupid. They had this guy in a bear costume with a full bear mask run into the school on all fours ready to attack. But then he was hunted down and actually laid there and played dead. It was just, I don't know if they have a fire drill and then a bear drill right after or what that is. But he attacked somebody during the exercise and they sprayed him with fake bear spray. The students were given empty bottles of bear spray or ones that were filled with water to use during the emergency drill to spray the man in the bear costume. I'm sorry, but the picture of the guy laying face down when you can see his whole neck and his hands, but the rest of him is covered up in a bear costume. And they even have police officers in riot gear standing there. And all these kids looking on like, do you really expect us to believe this? Now, in case you're wondering, and what is not funny, if you ever encounter a bear, you should not turn and run. Number one, the bear is faster than you. Number two, the bear will immediately think you're prey and come after you. You want to make noise, you want to make yourself big, and you don't want to show any signs of panic while you back away slowly, staring at the bear. Now, personally, I don't think the Bears are very dangerous. I mean, they've only got one playoff win in the last 16 years. Belle's Nashville Kitchen in Old Town Scottsdale.
We have constructed off the menu, gluten-free menu, a vegetarian menu to cater to those people that, you know, you have a spouse that loves hot chicken and their partner is gluten-free or lactose intolerant. What's really nice is everything is created fresh, so we cater to as many allergens and everything that we can.
Belle's Nashville Kitchen on Main Street in Old Town Scottsdale.
You found home, down home.
Unplugged Army, meet 13-time world pizza champion, Tony Gimignani.
Come to Slice House for great slices. It's all about family here. You could be on your first date. You could be single, a single dad, whomever, anyone, everyone. We have great outside seating, a lot of different styles to pick from. Detroit, Sicilian, Grandma, New York. We even have gluten-free and vegan options and fresh pasta and cannolis. So come here, check it out.
Slice House is in Gilbert at Pecos and Val Vista near Santan Ford. Hey, respect the craft.
Thank you.
To the citizens of Australia, thank you. Thank you for being there for us so many times. Thank you for always being a dear friend. Thank you for Crocodile Dundee. We owe so much to this friendship. Sadly, I must inform you that today and today only, this friendship ends as there is a titanic struggle that will take place today at noon. May we still be friends as soon as the conflict is over. Or should I say, the conquest is over. USA, USA, USA. So here's to you, Mr. Robinson, as you make the run up the pitch and the unsuspecting Socceroos cannot contain you. And you, sir, will score the first goal today. And in your honor, I drink an A Mountain. I drink it up. I'm sorry, I can't stop laughing. I thought of that. I drink your milkshake. I drink it up. Let me try that again. A Mountain Amber Ale from 100 Mile Brewing Company. Cheers, USMNT.
Hooray, beer!
Oh, yes. That tastes like victory. Just like our founding fathers, I think, once said, in order to form a more perfect weekend, it cannot be done. The United States of America in conflict with Australia for victory. The United States Open Golf Tournament in action. We're hosting the Twins. We can handle that. And my kid will have to deal with me because it's Father's Day. I know she's going to have to see me. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever it is that you've decided to make Doug Franz Unplugged a part of your day, my family greatly appreciates it. My name is Doug Franz, and you have found the only podcast in the world totally devoted to the coverage of the 4 major sports franchises of one great American city that drops on your phone each and every weekday morning. We also cover ASU, U of A, GCU, the Raptors, Rising, and the Burke. Yes, that counts. This is Doug Franz Unplugged, presented by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. Yes, USA, USA. Oh my gosh, let's go. Who would have ever thought we could win all 3 games of a group stage? Now, I'm allowed to look ahead. Our team is not. We are better than Australia as long as we don't do one thing. And that's do the same thing Turkey I did and declare ourselves better than Australia. I'm allowed to do it. Who cares what I think? But as long as the players respect Australia, we will win. And if they go into it like Turkey I did, thinking, oh, we're better than they are, well, then we'll get our butt handed to us. Oh, my gosh, I'm so jacked up for that. And I am excited for Father's Day because intern McKenna has seriously not returned a text or reached out to me in a month. In a month. So, therefore, she'll have to deal with me on Sunday. I mean, there's no way she's going to ignore me on Sunday. So I actually get to see my kid. Although there are no plans, I have no idea if I really do get to see her. Guess I shouldn't count all the chickens already. How are you? How's your Beer Friday? Thanks to 100 Mile Brewing Company. I am in a fantastic mood. Had a great day yesterday. Absolutely great day. Ate lunch with the Guru boys, our fantasy guru Rich and Guru Brad, and saw Nick, the bartender and owner of Belle's Nashville Kitchen, part owner. Of course, Mikey's part owner too. And had a wonderful time at Belle's, a great meal. And then I only have 100 Mile Brew A Mountain Amber Ale remaining. So I went over there and got a call from my daughter that actually does talk to me and said, hey, I'm done with work and I need to go to Tempe. Do you want to get together? Yeah, sure. So we went over to 100 Mile. And then suddenly I watched 2 soccer games while I was there. And Jennifer stopped by as well. So all 3 of us were in Tempe, not too far from campus, where I have a child at campus and still didn't see said child. It's amazing. I have no idea. Okay, I think it sounds okay. So the Gurus and I sat down. I brought a small recording device, and the Gurus and I sat. If you didn't know, Merrick M. on Town Hall Tuesday said, hey, is there any prep that the Gurus do fantasy football-wise at this time of year? So I thought that's a good idea. So we had them on. I failed in how I set up the recording, in which I didn't adjust their recording levels. So my microphone was a lot more dominant than their microphone. And I had to go through and every time they spoke, lift the level. And every time I spoke, drop the level. But that makes the background noise seem painfully quiet when I'm talking and obnoxious when they're talking. So I did the best I could. I fixed most of it, but I do want to warn you of that. But I think you'll really enjoy it. A lot of good stuff in there if you are a fantasy football fan. And then I want to do a breakdown, more of a, should I say break up? More of a preview of the Australia match in case you're a World Cup fan and you're going to try to find a way to be able to watch it even though you might be working. And of course, we have Jackson Asher with a Rattlers preview with coming off their tough loss last weekend against Fishers, which, if you didn't know, is a suburb of Indianapolis. It sounds funny, Fishers as a town, but that's the real life name of the city. That's all I got for you. I'm ready. It's time for Doug's Big One. It's my number one opinion of the day, and it's been Biggie-sized by your local Wendy's, where you can go for the Biggie Bite, Biggie Bag, Biggie Bundle. It's $4, $6, $8, and I guarantee you will be fine with the $4 Biggie Bite if you want to be quick, light meal. It's awesome. My favorite, however, is the Biggie Bag because I go junior bacon and you get the 4-piece chicken. Now, you can go crispy chicken sandwich and 4-piece chicken, but I don't do that because I'm already getting chicken. So why not go hamburger and chicken? That makes sense to me. At Wendy's, let's roll. Doug.
Where's Doug? Here, sorry, Doug. Where are you at?
Yeah, was that a plug to unplug?
Everyone plays from the CM spots, Doug.
Doug had given me a stat.
With that, I'm happy to take your questions. Let's start with Doug.
This is a great question, Doug.
Well, I can only answer the questions that get asked of me, Doug.
Obviously, Franz is such a good player.
Doug's Big One. I think the USGA screwed this up. I don't like it. I don't know if you are a golf fan or if you feel like sometimes I dump golf on you and you really don't care as much as I do about it. It is funny. I never really watched golf tournaments growing up other than, the Masters I would watch a little bit, but I've never really cared until I started golfing. And now I watch all of it, not only as part of my job so I can talk to you about it, but also because I really love it. I love watching the majors. And the U.S. Open is special because they make the greatest professionals in the world look like us. That's what's awesome about it. They didn't look like us yesterday. You see, the wind at Shinnecock is so crazy, and the weather they knew was going to be pretty difficult. They didn't want to make the course as impossible as the U.S. Open normally does. And they had been torched by the golfing community with the way they set up Shinnecock the last time they were there for the U.S. Open. So they didn't grow the first cut of rough as obnoxious as they normally do. Now, the second cut is pretty wispy and pretty difficult, but the first cut is not. And that really bothers me. I love the massive penalty of being or off the fairway. Not penalty as in a penalty stroke, but making it feel that way because the rough is so dangerous, so difficult. I want that. I want them to experience that. I don't like it as much when you hit a good shot and the greens are so hard they bounce way off. I don't think that's fair. I think when you have big rough, you eliminate a lot of golfers' opportunities to spin the golf ball to nail their distances. And that's the art of golf. So reward the guy that's in the fairway. And you know what? If it's too windy and you're thinking, I can't control it with that wind, well, then maybe he's got to club down. Maybe he's got to change his shot shape and keep the ball low and out of the wind. And maybe lose a little distance because of the wind in order to not be penalized by going into the rough. I think the U.S. Open screwed up. I think they got intimidated by their failures in the past and didn't bring this tournament up to the level that I think a U.S. Open should be. Bad move, USGA. We'll know if I'm wrong come Sunday afternoon if all of the golfers are sitting there and they're all right around par and it's not because of the greens being crazy with ridiculous bounces. I hope Shinnecock wins. I hope the USGA wins. I don't think they will. And that's Doug's Big One. Well, hopefully by now you kind of know the expectations here as a member of the Unplugged Army. If you are listening to Doug Franz Unplugged, the only way, I don't charge, I don't have a special Patreon account. The way this works is I need you to support the sponsors. One of them is Santan Ford, and I want you to know how many different ways. Of course, buying a new car, truck, SUV, buying pre-owned, leasing, things like that. That's the mother lode. That's incredible. And I believe, I should say I believe, I know they will earn your business. Email me, Doug at DougFranzUnplugged.com. But how do I know if you're in the market for a new car right now? I just want you to think of them when you're ready. But even if you're not in the market, you can still support this sponsor. And I tell you, do it once and you'll know from now on, hey, you're not just doing it because you're a member of the Unplugged Army. You're doing it because it benefits you. And that is the mobile service to change your oil. That is the service department that will come pick up your car and bring it back to the service drive and take care of it. As long as you're within 25 miles of the facility, they've got you. And man, I have used it about 3 or 4 times now, and it is so easy to be sitting there eating lunch at Trophy, Slice House, or 100 Mile Brew. And while I'm there, I'm getting an oil change, and I don't move other than lifting my beer from the bar to my mouth. Big fan. Go to santanford.com. I am Santan Ford. It's pretty crazy today. There were 50 golfers that still either hadn't started their round or hadn't finished their round when play was suspended yesterday. Play was suspended very early on the day yesterday. So they've got 50 golfers to finish round 1 before they even start round 2. And I've always thought, man, that's got to be dreadful. If they don't finish today, you might have to play Saturday morning not knowing whether you make the cut. And then if you make the cut, hurry up and get ready, because if you barely make the cut, you've got the earliest tee time for Saturday. So you're finishing up your Friday round on Saturday, you make the cut and you turn around and you play immediately, which I guess maybe would be better than the guy who finishes his round and then sits around for 3 hours and then has to play again. I don't know. I don't know which way I would like that. I don't think I've ever played 36 holes on one day. Isn't that weird how much I try to play golf? But I don't think I've ever done it. But I got a bad back, and I don't think I could handle that much. And let's face it, some of those guys are real-life athletes on the PGA Tour. Not all of them, but most of them nowadays. Not when I was young. They were all fat and smoking on the course the whole time until Jack Nicklaus came along. And then, of course, Tiger changing everything. Here is Rory talking about his opening round, in which he shot a fantastic 2-under and actually would, basically had the lead as far as in the clubhouse, because Wyndham Clark still hasn't finished as I'm talking to you.
I think with the conditions today, anything under par or anything even around even par is a good score. It was a day to really just keep yourself in the tournament and not shoot yourself out of it, which is exactly what I did 8 years ago here. So sort of went out with the mindset that pars were going to be good, and if you could pick up a couple of birdies here and there, that's always a bonus. But really just minimizing the mistakes, and I did that for the most part today, and but it's so tough, it's so difficult. I didn't feel like I hit 2 bad iron shots in the last 2 holes, and put myself in pretty difficult spots and wasn't able to get it up and down. But overall, a really good day. I think with the conditions today, anything under par or anything even around even par is a good score. It was a day to really just keep yourself in the tournament and not shoot yourself out of it, which is exactly what I did 8 years ago here. So sort of went out with the mindset that pars were going to be good, and if you could pick up a couple of birdies here and there, that's always a bonus. But really just minimizing the mistakes, and I did that for the most part today, and but it's so tough, it's so difficult. I didn't feel like I hit 2 bad iron shots in the last 2 holes, and put myself in pretty difficult spots and wasn't able to get it up and down. But overall, a really good day.
So Rory was in reverse. He's teed off on 10. I don't know if you know this, but there's over 150 golfers in the U.S. Open. So they put half of them teeing off to start their round on 1 and the other half tee off starting their round on 10. So Rory started on 10 and was even through his front 9, even though that was the back 9. Then he birdied 3 and eagled 5. So he's sitting there at a beautiful 3 under par as he stands on the 8th hole, but his 17th and 18th holes. And he goes bogey to finish. And he ends at 1 under. Like, oh, man. But he had the proper attitude of, did you say 1 under? Then that means I'm doing great at a U.S. Open. I'm 1 under. Now, for versus Vegas purposes, I told you that I like Matt Fitzpatrick in this tournament. And he finished his round at 3 under. So he's tied for second. Wyndham Clark, pretty dominant right now at 6 under, and he still has one more hole to play as I'm talking to you to finish off his first round. The shockers are, you know how I feel about the live golfers. I totally think it's an inferior league, irrelevant of their, falling apart at the league level. I just mean the golfers. I don't think that they are able to compete at the same level anymore. I think the courses are too easy, and I think the pressure's off, and then they choke when they get to a major. Of course, there's been, live champions like Bryson DeChambeau and Brooks Koepka and things like that. But for the most part, I don't think they play well at majors. Well, through the first round, Dustin Johnson's at 3 under, and John Rahm is at 2 under. So you have 2 live guys sitting there in the top 5. So we'll keep an eye on that. I love the conversation. If you didn't hear it, please go back and listen to the Wednesday show with Brandon Gordon, as he is the director of instructions at Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. He talked about the stretch of holes that are going to be dominant. And then he said, keep an eye on 16 because it might be your last birdie opportunity with how hard 17 and 18 are. And it could be the opposite of a normal tournament. Instead of seeing a birdie to win it on 18, you could see a bogey to drop at 18 into a tie, into a playoff, or out of a playoff, depending on the situation. Well, having said that, with 16 being the last birdie opportunity, what a difficult thing for Rory yesterday. He bogeyed the par 5 16th, and he normally dominates the par 5s. So I just wanted to give you a golf rundown because admittedly, it is my number one opinion, is my frustration with the USGA, and therefore I spent some time talking golf. Okay, coming up next, I really like today's show. I think you're going to be entertained by it too. I want you to love soccer like I do. So I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive, a preview into what to look for with US and Australia. And if you're watching the game at the office or you're talking to some people, then I'll be able to help you talk a little trash and maybe act like you know more than you really do if you're not really a soccer guy. That's coming up next on Doug Franz Unplugged, presented by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. Go to ParkerPaysYourPower.com. Nominate a friend, a coworker, anyone you know that's going through a tough time. Parker might choose them and pay their power bill. Go to ParkerPaysYourPower.com.
It's big, it's juicy, it's meaty. Get your burrito at Burrito Express. If you're having a hangover, a bad day, even a good day, still get your burrito at Burrito Express. It will make you feel better.
At Goodyear Fit Body Boot Camp, when the husbands have come in, their first thought is, this is just some group dance class like Zumba, and this is going to be no problem. And when we humble them for a 30-minute workout, typically they end up signing up because they see that this is just as challenging for them, and they do want to support their wives in their fitness journey. My name is Aaron. I also go by AG Kleino on Twitter. We strive to inspire fitness and change lives every day.
Let's go. Sorry about this, Australia. I'm only talking trash because I know I don't have anything to do with it. If the U.S. players had this attitude, then Australia's winning. I want to be very clear. Australia is not as good as the United States in soccer, but they're good enough to beat us, for sure. Sorry, I got to take a drink. No, I already finished my A Mountain. That's just water. This game is going to be really interesting. First of all, Turkey did dominate possession against Australia, just like they said they would. But the thing is, they did not dominate the game, and that's two different things. And the fascinating watch is going to be it's an intangible thing. The United States wins this game today if they keep their poise. There's two main factors here, and like I said, they're both intangible. And that is poise and humility. As ridiculous as that sounds in a game of soccer, it's going to be poise and humility. Here's why. If you go into this game thinking you're better than Australia, I don't care if you are. If you think you are how do I want to say that? Because it's okay to feel like that. If you know you're better than they are, and it gives you confidence not to be afraid, it gives you confidence when it's 0-0 in the 70th minute, but you're saying to yourself, I know we're better than they are, then the U.S., I believe, will win the game. What Australia does is they let you dominate possession. In soccer, it's almost always about possession. And Australia is like, fine, you want to do all of your passes in the wrong area? Go ahead. We don't care if you lead in possession 75% of the time. Go ahead, knock yourself out. Australia's back line is unbelievable. They're really, really strong. And as soon as you start getting frustrated, as soon as you start taking weird chances because you're panicking because you feel the need to score, and it's normally your ego-driven players feel the need to score, that's when Australia gets possession, and they've got very fast strikers. They counterattack quickly, and all of a sudden, you are leading in shots 10-1, and you're trailing in the game 1-0. Because that one shot for them went in. Because they had the breakaway. That's what happens when Australia wins. And it's a perfect description if you saw Australia-Turkey. If you didn't see it, Turkey had all of these guys that I wouldn't say that they're showboaters, but they were certainly stuck on themselves. And so many guys were forcing shots so they would get the glory of the goal. And Australia's like, knock yourself out. Go ahead. The position of center back in soccer means is basically like your two safeties. But what's weird is they're almost like linebackers playing safety. I'm not trying to make a crazy reference out of nowhere, but who would be a great center back is Pat Tillman. You want a little bit of crazy, even though Pat had a lot of it, but you want incredibly intelligent. You want incredibly aggressive, but smart aggressive. You want an intimidation factor, and you want the size of a linebacker with the speed and coverage skills of the safety. That's the center back position. Australia has not only two outstanding center backs, they're 6'4" and 6'5". They're huge. I mean, that's huge players in soccer. So many teams in soccer bring the ball down, try to get the ball out wide, and then chip it back in front of the goal, and somebody runs on it, heads it in, there's your goal. Australia, you can't do that. You will not win any air balls. And Normally when you don't score, it goes off the other team, so you get a corner kick, which is a true offensive weapon in soccer. You don't score on the straightaway corner kick where you kick it into the middle and everybody fights for the header. Australia always wins the headers. So it doesn't matter if you think this is what we do. You have to change against Australia. And the key today is going to be poise. It's going to be, I'm happy with the possession, but you need people. Remember what we talked about earlier this week. I love the things Devin Booker used to say when there were problems with the Bradley Beal, Kevin Durant teams, because Durant didn't want to hustle. Bradley Beal thought he was a star, and no one was making the sacrificial cut. And in this game, you've got to make a run through the channels of that defense. Australia mostly sits in a 5-3-2, and they park that bus. I talked about it last week. When you hear the formations, the first number is your defenders. So they've got 5 defenders with their huge center back standing at 6'6". I think you say his name, Sutar or Suter. I don't remember. You just call him Harry. But he's 6'6", and he's right smack dab in the middle. And then they have 4 other backs surrounding him. It is 5, but one guy's more of a defensive mid. So you have 4 backs and a defensive midfielder that is right in front of the flat back 4. Flat back is a cool phrase saying that your 4 guys are in a line across the back of the defense in your defensive third. So these guys aren't letting you chip the ball in. So you've got to not only get the ball wide, but then quickly get it into the middle when you get close and have somebody go right through the seam of the defense. Try to get them the ball. And if you can't, that guy's got to keep running and somebody else has to cycle through. What happens with most teams against Australia is a guy makes a run and then he cops an attitude because he doesn't get the ball, because the channel was too tight. So when he doesn't get the ball, now he stops. Now he's whining. Now there's arguments between offensive guys because offensive guys always want glory. The U.S. have to just keep cutting. Sorry to go Dory on you. Just keep cutting. You've got to keep moving in those seams. If you stand, Australia's defense is too experienced and too intelligent. Now they don't have to move. The U.S. is much more athletic than Australia. So if the U.S. stands, then Australia can guard standing people. You've got to move a lot. And then as you're moving on the right side, if you don't probe the hole, quickly switch the fields under control. Switch the fields means turn the weak side into the strong side and vice versa. Get the ball to the other side, so now the defense has to shift. And as the defense is running from their left to right, you try to gash them. If you know football, it's like a zone run scheme. Zone runs in football are get a hat on a hat. Don't worry about the defensive lineman and you overpowering him. You run diagonally when you block, and if the defensive lineman wants to go to his right, you just make him go to his right faster than he wanted to. Let him go where he wants to go. And the running back is, hey, you choose which hole you want. I don't care which hole you run through, but the rule is once you plant that foot, that's the hole you've chosen, you go. And you go into that hole and you go hard into that hole. We just want to keep the defense moving, and then that allows you to cut it back because maybe the hole is kind of behind you. Maybe the hole is the center pushed the guy past you and you cut it back behind him. It's going to be the exact same thing today. If you can move the ball laterally but quickly with pace, you force Australia to go side to side, and as they're going side to side, quickly cut the ball back into the space. Not an air ball, on the ground, and get quick low shots and then converge. while you're doing all this, Australia is looking for one opportunity to block your shot, to get the ball, to get possession, and quickly counterattack. So the other thing that was happening with Turkey Eye, as they weren't scoring, they were getting more and more frustrated. So more guys were coming up the pitch in order to score. And once you convert, or once you kind of convict more guys up, commit more guys to come up to score, you leave more opportunities behind you. And Australia will kill you on the counterattack. So what the United States has to do, and I know this is really hard, and you've got to attack patiently. Attack with patience. When you've got the ball, keep pouring it in, keep your runs, keep being aggressive, attack, attack, attack. But don't be out of control. Don't be frustrated when their goalie makes great saves. And as soon as you lose possession, it is a sprint. A lot of offensive guys, when they have a chance to score and they don't, they like to throw their little fit. They like to act like they were fouled and flop. They like to act like the world's over. And then they walk back because they think, oh, I'm a gazelle and I just had a big run and now I'm tired. If the U.S. does that, Australia wins. They counter you and they'll crush you because you didn't get back. So the U.S. has to be relentless in both their attack, but also relentless in getting back. And what I saw against Paraguay, they were doing exactly that. Exactly that. And that's why I really feel like the U.S. is going to win. Offensively, what I want to see is I want the strikers or the wingers to get the ball to the end line, go to the byline, get close, and then cross it back up on the ground to the 18, back to the spot at the 12. So imagine an end zone, the 6-yard line, that's how far the goal box is from the goal. And then the 12-yard line, that's where the penalty spot is. And the 18-yard line is where the penalty box is. So we hardly ever say the penalty box. We'll either say the box or the 18, which admittedly is kind of dumb because the penalty box is 18 yards by 44 yards. And we never say the 18 by 44. We just say the whole box is the 18. But then we'll also say, cross it to the 18. So you want to get those big 6'4", 6'5" center backs to be pushed down into the 6 by you bringing the ball all the way to the end line. Then turn back and cross it where you've created space behind the ball. Because there's not going to be space in front of the goal, but there will be space for a guy like Robinson, who's normally a back, but he's got free reign to go anywhere. He's a wing back, but he goes everywhere. You should be able to find him and Weston McKennie to be able to get off shots from the 18. And then I'm hoping you've collapsed so far in front of the goal that either the shot goes in or a Christian, if Pulisic plays, but a Christian or a Balogun is going to be able to score on rebounds. That should be a great game plan in order to get the win. Here is Weston McKennie and what he said that you heard of the 4-minute offense, but let's go over it real quick.
They have size, that's for one. Balls in the box won't be easy to get on long balls. They have fast players up top. They can get in behind and be dangerous like that as well. But I think they're a team that's similar to us as well in a way that we play with the chip on our shoulder also. And we kind of have that mindset. We're together as a team and we fight for each other and we run endlessly and tirelessly. And yeah, I think they're very similar in that way. So I think it will be a great game and a great battle.
That tells me they're getting the message. That was a perfect rundown. We both have a chip on our shoulder. The U.S. has the chip on their shoulder because they're mocked internationally. How do you have over 300 million people and yet your country is so bad at soccer? How have you been such a failure at soccer for so long? And they hear it all the time because, what's so different about every other sport is every other sport, you are playing in the United States. So the Americans are better at everything except hockey and soccer. So then in hockey, they hear it from the Canadians, but now we just took 2 gold medals in their sport. But in soccer, MLS is one of the lowest levels of high up professional soccer. So all of these guys are playing in Europe, and all they hear is about the negatives of the U.S. and how you don't have a chance. And now they have a chance to be loud. So that chip is there. Australia, they have always had a very difficult time because for years, only one team was available to make it out of their federation. So they would dominate New Zealand and Tonga and different islands. And so they didn't have the true competition to get into the World Cup. Then they get into the World Cup and they get drubbed. Well, this is now different. Australia was moved into a different federation. They're no longer Oceania, and they've really improved dramatically. And then they got disrespected by Turkey, and it showed with the way that Australia was able to handle it. And they do have athletes. They're just not as athletic as the United States. And when I hear Weston McKennie say they're big, he's talking about their center backs. When he says they're fast and they can get out and counter, he's talking about their strikers. He's talking about everything I saw, which makes me feel really good that he was paying attention. And that's what it takes. Poise, patience, don't get frustrated, and take them seriously. If they don't have the humility and the poise, Australia wins. I feel really good about the U.S. winning today, but I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and I think it's going to be close. Maybe 2-0, maybe 1-0. I think it's going to be low-scoring because I have that much respect for Australia's defense. Okay, 2 forms of the other kind of football. First, let's do Rattlers. Jackson Asher, young man that is studying to be a broadcaster, getting ready to advance his career in college baseball, gamer, but still IFL insider and expert, and therefore he brings us this week's version of Rattlers Rundown.
This is Jackson Asher, IFL Insider with the Rattlers Rundown. And in today's report, we'll be talking about the Arizona Rattlers Week 14 loss to Fishers, the Rattlers Week 15 opponent, and some game day information. The Rattlers lost to the Fishers Freight last week 37-36. The main problems, the Rattlers offense, the special teams, and penalties. For the offense, they scored a season low of 36 points. The offense was very sloppy, a bunch of miscues happened, wide receivers not in the right spots, bad snaps, and not good blocking from the O-line. Powell did not have enough time to get balls off. Powell was 21 for 32 with 189 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 rushing touchdown. For the special teams side, kicker Matthew Cook had a pretty bad game. Cook was 3 for 5 on his extra points and 1 for 3 on field goals. Cook also missed the 20-yard field goal to win the game for the Rattlers on the last play, and the extra point to tie the game at 37. So Cook, all around, not a good game for him. As for the penalties, the Rattlers had 8, costing them 55 yards, including a holding call that called back the Rattlers' game-winning touchdown in the last 10 seconds. Fishers played the Rattlers really well, but I think Arizona lost to themselves last Sunday. And now looking ahead to the Rattlers' Week 15 opponent, the Tucson Sugar Skulls. Tucson is 5-6 on the year and are in 4th place in the Western Conference. The last time these two teams squared off, the Rattlers obliterated the Sugar Skulls, winning 66-14. But Tucson are winners of 3 straight, and they also have a new sheriff in town. Quarterback number 2, Jerome Johnson. Now, you might have heard this name a lot. Well, he just came from New Mexico. The Chupacabras released Johnson, and Tucson picked him right up. And he led them to victory against the defending champs, the Vegas Nighthawks, last week in Vegas. That final score was 52-48. Johnson is a sneaky quarterback, a very good runner, but he can also air it out. So this Rattlers defense has got to be ready for both. The betting lines show that the Rattlers are 15.5-point favorites over Tucson. Now, I think that is outrageous. I think this game will be super close. Tucson is playing with a lot of swag right now, and the Rattlers, they just came off a heartbreaking loss. This matchup Saturday should be a hard-nosed football game between two in-state rivals. So this Saturday at 7 o'clock at Tucson Arena or on the overnight streaming site, it's the 7-4 Arizona Rattlers jumping on the I-10 to face off against the 5-6 Tucson Sugar Skulls. This is the Rattlers Rundown with Jackson Asher on Doug Franz Unplugged, sponsored by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass.
If you're new to Doug Franz Unplugged, I always give a live critique. Like Jackson has no idea what I'm going to say as he's learning to be a broadcaster. And Jackson, remember when you first started, I would basically point out 90 different things that you needed to get better at. And now I bring nothing to the table. These are fantastic. I like this, but I can tell you might get a professor or somebody else. You said there's a new sheriff in town. I think that stuff is funny because it's cheesy. I just feel like everybody knows there really isn't a new that's funny. But I can guarantee you there will be a professor, if you ever have an assignment like this, that will say, don't say there's a new sheriff in town. That is so old and uncreative and blah. Yeah, but is it funny? Is it entertaining? That's what matters to me. So I like it, but I want to warn you, I guarantee you will get a professor that doesn't like it. I loved your close. The way you told me the records of the teams, their position, what the game is setting up for. It was a great close. I don't even know if this is a critique, but I believe if you are doing a recap of other sporting events, like if you're doing a Super Bowl recap, you do the whole thing under the assumption that everybody saw the Super Bowl. So therefore, when you bring up points, you're being specific at this time, this is when this happened and this is how you feel about it. But you assume everybody remembers the different plays. With the Rattlers, I don't know what they get, but let's say they have an attendance of about 7,000 people, and this is a city of about 5 million, plus all the people that don't even live in Maricopa County that listen to the podcast. So you want to do it assuming that they haven't heard it or haven't seen the Rattlers. It sounded like that holding call at the end of the Fisher's Freight game was a huge deal. Like, just as I'm trying to play it in my head of what that must have been like if there's a holding call that late and it calls back a touchdown. But you mentioned it kind of quick as if everybody saw it and they know how big it is and they don't need you to kind of elaborate on it. Well, I tell you what, two things. Number one, there's hardly anybody listening to Doug Franz Unplugged that saw the play. So that sounds like a big moment. I would love to have heard your opinion, how you felt about it. What did you see? Because it sounds controversial. Or kind of going after that lineman if you know it. Hey, he's had too many holding calls, something like that. But if it's more of a Super Bowl thing or a game that everybody sees, then you've got to go relate to the holding call because that's what everybody's talking about. Okay, now my opinion on the hold. Listen, the referees, was it holding? Yes. But the referees weren't calling holding all game. That bothers me that it's now a foul. Or whatever your opinion is on it, go right at it. But that seemed like a big moment that I would have wanted you to do a little bit more of a dive on. But that was it. I mean, you're still fire. You're still absolute fire doing these. All right, coming up next, more football. It's Guru time. Who is helping your fantasy team on July or in June? Only Doug Franz Unplugged. Guru Rich, Guru Brad, sit down, live at Belle's, even though we're not there right now, but we were live to tape at Belle's Nashville Kitchen. We had just finished what did I have? I had the iceberg chicken tender, Nashville hot chicken wedge. Fantastic. And you'll find out what the Gurus had because it's all they wanted to talk about. Next on Doug Franz Unplugged, presented by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass.
What I'm most proud of with 100 Mile Brewing is being in the city of Tempe, my alma mater. And I'm most proud of building community here. The city supports us, and it's really nice to have a business in a city where you are appreciated, you are welcomed, and it's really becoming a hub for locals. We have a lot of locals that come in. We're residents that live right around. Businesses have happy hours here. And that was my dream, is actually to open up a brewery as a community. Breweries are like an extension of your living room. So people come in here solo, they come in here with their families. We have all generations. We had a 15-day-old little baby in here one time that I befriended. He's walking now. And we had a 98-year-old birthday party in here. So it's just a welcoming spot for pretty much everybody. So if you are in the Unplugged Army, we need to be friends. There's thousands and thousands of you that I cannot wait to meet. So this is your spot. Doug's favorite beer. He likes a lot of them, but the favorite one is the A Mountain Amber Ale. So why don't you all come in? I invite you in. Ask for Sue, ask for Todd, and we'll take really good care of you.
100 Mile Brewing Company. Fresh. It never gets old.
This is Angie with Penny Royal Promotions. So it's common thought that all we do is t-shirts. In fact, our name used to imply that that's all we did. But we can literally do anything you can put a logo on. If you want t-shirts, of course. If you want hats, we do that. We can do koozies, banners, pencils, Yetis, coolers, business cards, table covers, you name it. If your logo can go on it, we can find a way to make it happen for you.
We are sitting at Belle's Nashville Kitchen today, and Merrick M. had asked during Town Hall Tuesday, what do the gurus do? Should we have the gurus on? What do the gurus do this time of year? Do the gurus do stuff? So we decided to bring the gurus together. So the Murray Electric boys are here, Guru Rich and Guru Brad, and therefore we ask the first question to whoever takes it. Do you guys do stuff for fantasy football in June?
Oh, I thought she was just asking if we do stuff.
Now you have to, I don't want you to eat the microphone, but you can't, because then you'll get all country music.
Yeah.
When it's not in front of your face. Yeah. No, that's, you can get the country music if you want, but we won't get you. So we care. And we don't care about your sweet potato fries, but we care about you.
Dude, I'm telling you, everyone knocks them, but they're delicious. And you know what? They're healthy for you.
I do want to talk fantasy football, but I will let you guys do 2 free plugs. The first free plug is you guys would not stop talking about your burger today at Belle's Nashville Kitchen.
Rich actually had it for the first time, so let's actually hear what he has to say.
Okay.
I'll tell you what, that burger was delicious. The chicken's what they're famous for, but that burger was on point, man.
Okay.
I said Brad says it's a top 5 in town, and I think it's pretty close.
I want to hear the famous commercial line, which is, I always get a great plate of food.
Yeah, at Bell's Burgers.
Oh, yeah, it's not called Bell's Burgers.
I'm telling you, they could morph into it, you know?
And the second free plug before we get rolling, how's everything at Murray Electric?
We're doing good. We're doing really good. Just cranking out projects, doing remodels and new construction. So it's been really good stuff.
You know, my dream in life is to have everyone in the Unplugged Army working together. My favorite is Slice House serving 100 Mile Brewing Company beer.
Oh, yeah.
That's number one. But I have heard through the rumor mill, basically, Rich, because you told me while we were eating lunch, that Mikey, the owner of Belle's Nashville Kitchen, and you have teamed up on a project. Yeah. And I know that you either have gotten or are getting shirts from Penny Royal Promotions.
We are coming up. We'll be getting some shirts done. We did business cards already, so definitely liked working with Angie.
Oh, that's awesome.
And yeah, Mikey's been awesome to work with. Really great.
That's cool.
So we do a little bit of construction work together, and it's been great.
Oh my gosh, that's the dream. All right, what do gurus do in June?
For football, I kind of wait and just watch, see how things are kind of panning out.
What are you watching? What do you mean?
Well, I mean, you just watch to see, is there any news? Is there anything that's going on? Any trades that are happening? You know, people getting like, oh, we think we're going to use this guy more this year, this and that. Like a guy like Woody Marks, like, are they going to use him a lot more? So there are some guys that got like some good usage and later in the half in the season, like Trayvon Henderson, you know. He's another guy that might be good, but then they re-sign the main back, and then you're thinking, okay, is this just going to be another situation like last year?
Okay.
So there's certain things like that you want to try and see if you can get ahead of the curve and find those guys that kind of show some potential, like even a guy like Charbonnet last year. So now that he's the main guy, is he going to fill in the shoes and get the production? Because you might find him in late rounds or for pretty cheap. So just stuff like that. But there's not a lot of like research I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a lot of baseball I need to watch now. So
now, if you're new to Doug Franz Unplugged and maybe you didn't get a chance to listen last year, these are two friends of mine. Rich runs an electric company. Brad's an employee of the electric company, but they are just brilliant fantasy dudes. So therefore, we call them the gurus, and they come on once a week during the season. Just to let you know, as we sit here in Belle's, what was really funny is Brad isn't quick enough to pick up on little signals in life. But as soon as I said Brad works for Murray Electric, the owner of Murray Electric kind of tilted his head like, well, I don't really know if I would use the word work. Like, I could tell that's what the nonverbal communication meant.
no, I mean, I work for him. I get a paycheck.
I think, yeah, he gets him. He didn't question whether you got a paycheck. I think he questioned the work portion.
I was thinking he's an integral part of everything we do.
Oh, what a wonderful kick save and a beauty.
It's actually that.
I would say I'm an integral part of your show, too.
Yes, I would, too. I would, too. Just like Bobby Mack, you guys charge, a lot of money, but I'm able to afford it. So I appreciate that.
Does Bobby Mack charge you?
Bobby Mack makes the same as you guys do on the show. And I'm offering the same raise for the coming season that I gave him. I gave Bobby Mack a 10% raise this year.
Is that whooping his butt at darts?
Yeah, that's what it is. It is. Maybe I'll actually pay him if he ever beats me in darts, and I'll do that. What about you? So that was the voice. The first voice that you heard there was the voice of Guru Brad. Guru Rich, what do you do in June to get ready?
Well, in June, it's funny. What I like to do, and I'm getting more into now and going to start doing a lot of, is best ball drafts.
Oh, okay.
So they're kind of, they do draft around now. They're tournaments for the season, just like the same thing, except for you draft about 45 players.
Okay.
Okay, and so best ball, and it means basically each week they're going to pick out your best possible lineup. So I find that pretty interesting. So you can take flyers on guys. You used to have like Gabe Davis would be a big guy in there. But you want boomer bust type guys in that type of league. So it's fun. It's a fun little way to get yourself through the summer.
Okay.
You're waiting for your real draft.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for August when we are hopefully getting our league back together.
Yes.
I think that would be great. And then in our home league where we do an auction draft, definitely doing a lot of work in that aspect too. If you're not doing the work right now, you're getting a little behind.
Okay. Now, what is the work? When you say if you're not doing the work, what is the work?
So I like to watch all the training camp reports. So that's going to be coming up. So we're looking at that. OTAs were a good cue to see a lot of stuff. Like we saw Bayshell Tootin in Jacksonville. He's taking all the first team reps. So you want to see stuff like that.
Okay.
Those are the things that, little tidbits that all kind of add up until we get to end of August and beginning of September.
How much do you believe in press conferences right now?
It's funny. There's a guy on Twitter. His name is Coach Speak.
Okay.
And I follow him because what he does is rates how truthful. He'll give a rating based on, this guy's 90% truthful. So when he tells you that, hey, Parker Washington's going to have a great year this year, you can actually believe what he's saying.
Mm-hmm. I know you guys are also members of the Unplugged Army, and I have said how much in favor I was of the Jeremiah Love draft pick. But from a fantasy standpoint, we have no idea who's going to take the first carry, and we have no idea how many carries each guy is going to get. So are either of you even remotely interested in any of the Cardinals running backs since they've got 3 of them?
No.
Okay. I've never known Guru Brad could talk that quickly.
Brad keeps it simple, but a no. I don't think you can trust any one of them. There's too many in the stall, so it's like, hey, who's going to get the rock? That is something we can look at in training camp. See if there is a pecking order. That is something that we can look at. I don't think you can trust anyone, but I do believe that Jeremiah Love is very talented. I think he's a very talented back. He has top 10 potential as a fantasy running back, but that's if he's getting the rock.
There's actually only two people I would trust on the Cardinals offense this year, and that's obviously Trey McBride and Michael Wilson.
Okay.
Michael Wilson is your flyer guy. He's a guy that I think you can get in late in rounds, really cheap, and he could be a top 12 wide receiver this year. I think, honestly, push comes to shove, you keep him over Harrison if it came down to it. I think he's just that good. He reminds me of a young Larry. It's really crazy. He goes up and just make catches. He doesn't seem like he's a flashy guy. He just puts in the work and gets it done. So I really like him a lot.
Does the weird quarterback situation make you like Trey McBride more or less? Because you could argue they all need to dump it off to the tight end.
Yeah, big guy, big target. If you're panicked and you're scanning, there's a big red shirt right there. You're just going to possibly key on him. So I think that's why. But I think that because Jacoby's come back, right?
We think.
I mean, who knows that guy's entire career, what's going to happen. But I think with him, he showed good rapport. They were a fun team to watch, which I don't know if you could say that in the last 6 years. But even though they lost games, it was still fun to watch, which I don't know when I've actually ever.
Once Jacoby Brissett took over, I would agree. Yeah.
But and they put up points like Michael Wilson, 100-yard games, probably 6 out of 8 games he probably had that. So I think he's good. But if Love can produce like we want him to, I mean, that's a tough division in general, but they can make some noise.
I totally accept this is an unfair question in mid to late June, Father's Day weekend, and your mind might change a lot in 2 months. But is there a guy either from the 26 or 2025 real life NFL draft or just a player you've been reading about that is kind of I'm going to keep an eye on him in training camp and he might be my secret fantasy draft, or somebody that you can help the Unplugged Army out to keep an eye on that you're not going to stand on the table and vouch for, but he's got a soft spot for you. Like you're thinking about him.
I think I mentioned earlier Bashal Tutin.
Yeah.
The guy in Jacksonville. I think he's going to have the role. That's one of the main things is in fantasy. I like to get a guy who will have the role. He's going to get the ball. There's Chris Rodriguez there, formerly of Washington. He's decent, but I don't think he's going to get the rock. When I see a guy who is, that piques my interest.
Okay. Guru Brad?
I like just because I think the teams can be really good. They could win the division. So I'm looking at RJ Harvey.
Okay.
I think he's going to get a much more significant role. He had a good role in the pass game, so a lot of checkdowns. And if he got past that first line of defense, it seemed like he could break 10, 15 yards.
One other guy I like is Isaiah Likely. When he got moved to the Giants, I think under Harbaugh, I think that's going to be a really good fit. Jackson Dart with his tight end. So I think Isaiah Likely from the Ravens, formerly of the Ravens, he's a good pickup this year.
No, I was just thinking Jackson Dart's part of that class that might be someone you might want to watch for. He's a QB that likes to run. He gets a lot of touchdowns.
He's got to stay on the field.
I nicknamed him Sunshine because that's what he reminds me of from. Remember the Titans?
Yeah, yeah.
So he's just Sunshine to me.
Yeah.
But he plays hard. He runs it like almost to a point where you shouldn't run that hard because you got to take care of yourself.
Yeah.
But I kind of like players that play like that.
Yeah.
You get paid a lot of money to play like that. So he might be a guy you get really late rounds, but top 5, 10 producing QB.
Let's talk about our fantasy draft entertainer, which is my wife. She added so much fun to the fantasy draft, thinking that putting someone in her queue meant no one else is allowed to take him. It's almost like I called dibs. Yeah, because she would put someone in her queue, and then someone would draft him, and she's like, wait, you're not allowed to have him. He's in my queue.
That's mine.
And I think she understood but didn't. So that was the high entertainment. And then if you remember, she was the one that had the courage to draft Scadaboo early. We all told her she was nuts, and then she ended up not nuts, and then she ended up nuts again because she wouldn't trade him, even though he was hurt and loved him. Like, honey, you don't come back from broken ankles. But as I say that,
if one person did, it would be him.
It would be him. So now I ask, how do you think Scadaboo's going to do when he's got the hardball run-only offense almost?
I like Scadaboo a lot, man. I think he's got a lot of heart. The way he runs is just like frenetic and physical. I like the way that he runs. So as long as he comes back from a pretty gruesome injury, I think he's going to be a good. I mean, man, he was performing at a top 10 level as a fantasy running back week to week. So I like Scadaboo a lot. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, he reminds me of a nice, lean, thin Mike Allstott. Bruiser of a guy that it doesn't matter if you got him by 20, 30, 40 pounds. He squares up and hits you. There's a good chance you're going down. But he's quicker, and he can move to the outside quicker. So I like him a lot. If that ankle can stay good, I mean, I don't know if that thing was attached when he left the field or not. But
so Guru Rich, remind us as the commissioner of the Unplugged Army League, who won the Unplugged Army League?
That would be you.
Okay. Yes. So now that we have that reminder, one of the major reasons why I won is my theory. You always draft Christian McCaffrey in an odd year. It's now an even year. There's going to be a lot of temptation, but he seems to get hurt every other year. Then people don't think he's very good. Then he dominates, and then he gets hurt again, and it goes back and forth. So I ask the Christian McCaffrey theory, if you've got a chance to draft McCaffrey in the first round, are you doing it?
I'm not, personally. I think you are right. The amount of touches that he had last year is just too much to sustain year to year. I think that's why he breaks down. It's just too much. They give him the ball almost 30 times a game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but what treatment did he get over there in Europe? I mean,
a little fishy. Who knows?
Yeah. Did they do something where, like, it's bionic? He can run 300 plays. It doesn't matter. So I don't know. I would be a little. If there's any year I'd possibly give it a chance, it would be this year because he had that stem cell growth thing he did, and it might not even be an injury anymore. It might. Man, imagine if it spread his whole body and everything's just perfectly healthy and doesn't break.
Yeah. Again, a June question that you might change your mind in 2 months. Any quarterbacks you would take in the first 4 rounds right now?
Drake May. I love Drake May.
You would take Drake May in the first 4 rounds, though. That's early.
All right, so I'm used to an auction draft, so it's hard for me to adjust what round these guys go in.
Yeah.
So I just think, what's the top 5, 10 quarterback? And I think, and Bo Nix. I love Bo Nix, too. If I can, I'll get both of them just to have my team.
Well, yeah, Bo Nix will be a nice value for sure. I think that's a good value. Top end, I think Josh Allen is definitely a guy I'm still worthy of putting out there in the second round. He's worthy. And then Lamar Jackson is always going to, I'm looking for quarterbacks that run the football. If I'm going to spend that type of draft capital.
Are you confident in his health? Because I love Lamar Jackson's numbers when he plays, and I don't think I would draft him.
It does worry me. Yeah, he's a weird guy too, man. He misses a lot of practice.
Yes,
just in general. Like even when he's not going through all the injury stuff, he misses a lot.
And this is a crazy theory. If you miss a lot of practices with a veteran head coach that you can't take advantage of, what are you going to do when you run the whole franchise with a new head coach?
I'm surprised. I was looking over a little bit of over-under stuff, and the Ravens are 11.5 over-unders on their wins, and it just seems like kind of a lot.
Especially in that division, because that's a brutal division.
A new head coach.
Yeah.
New head coach to that division. That kind of scares me. So it made me think that under was kind of like spicy.
Who's a coach that affects your draft? I'd probably John Harbaugh, maybe both Harbaughs.
I like especially Oh, geez, now I'm confused. Which one's in the Chargers?
Jim is the Chargers. John is the Giants.
Him with Amari and Hampton, I like that a lot.
Okay.
I like them to use him as a workhorse this year. They said coming out of OTAs and stuff, they really like what they're seeing and to expect something big from it.
I think it's not necessarily the coaches that are there, but the coaches that are gone. Like Mike Tomlin's gone. So the way that Pittsburgh play is run heavy. It's going to be completely different. So a lot of those ways of teams and their identity and how they played, a lot of that is gone. So you got to keep that in mind when you're drafting like Pittsburgh running backs and stuff like that.
What round in a non-auction draft, since most people aren't in an auction draft, is the first time you're thinking Caleb Williams in 2026?
I think about a 6th rounder.
Okay.
About 6th, 7th round, somewhere in there. That'd be a really good pick.
Because I don't think anybody knows what kind of season he's going to have. I mean, he could shock the world this year, and he could really fall on his face.
So I don't know if everyone knows this, but I call him Khalib because he's always been a big joke to me once he asked for the franchise ownership. Okay. He was ever going to be Khalib. Until he wins an NFL championship, I won't refer to the other name.
First of all, are you 87 years old?
Huh? Yes.
Most people say if you've won a Super Bowl. I don't remember the last time I've ever heard someone say win an NFL championship.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's how it was back then. So.
It was.
But, so that one throw he made in the playoffs, running back like 25, 30 yards, and then just tossing it. Like, it wasn't even like...
Rich said off the mic, Guru Rich said off the microphone, 4th and 15.
But when I saw him make that throw, I was like, well, holy shit, Khalib. Mm-hmm. You can play. And he didn't even get it.
But you didn't give him a name change. You still called him your name. Okay.
Because they lost. I thought if there was a good chance, I was like, wow, he might actually do it. But I'm going to throw out a Hail Mary and say if you're a bettor, place money on him to be MVP this year.
Oh, wow.
So I think with what I saw last year, if he takes the next steps forward, and Chicago's got great coaching, great players. Luther Burden III? People aren't talking about him. He's the next.
I like Rome Odunze.
Yeah, Odunze. They got running backs. They got, everything's there. They got Loveland. Mm-hmm. So I think he has the potential. If they win 12, 13, 14 games, they always go to the QB. So they're going to go to him. And, dude, he's on the Madden cover. It's all set up for it.
So I gave a prediction 2 years ago, and now you're both on the spot. Will I be proven right or wrong? I said Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in this draft, but I would not take him because he will be RG3. He will excel in year 1, and then he'll get hurt and never be the same. So far, that's exactly what happened. Now, we're in the pivotal year 3 when we have 0. Even I don't know really what's going to happen. What would you declare as the future of Jaden Daniels, both in general and then kind of a fantasy prediction of what you like of him or don't like this year?
He worries me. Too many injuries, too many situations where he puts himself in harm's way. That's what scares me. And like he's too frail for that situation. I really like him as a prospect, as a quarterback, but he definitely scares me in that regard.
Mm-hmm. Now, I still might be proven wrong overall because Drake May just looked better in general.
Well, when you made that comment, I said you're 100% right last year. I agreed. But I said Bo Nix was going to be number 1 in that. And then after last year, I love Bo Nix. He's probably my favorite player because I always like Drew Brees, and he feels like he's the second cup.
Okay.
But I think Drake May is better.
Yeah, Drake May was fantastic.
And it's just like, dude, he's so good. He's so poised. He doesn't even look like he's checking down, but he's just running through the screens. Like, I've just never seen a guy in his second year play so well. And, dude, Tom Brady left how many years ago? And they got a generational.
It's crazy.
Like, teams don't even get that entire existence.
I can think of the Packers going from Favre to Rodgers. And even though because of injuries it didn't last, Manning to Luck. But Luck fell off pretty quickly because of the injuries.
Well, no, Luck fell down.
Yeah. But it's almost impossible that this happens.
One thing you guys are talking about reminded me, it's such a big story, but we skipped right past it this offseason. A.J. Brown coming to the Patriots.
Okay, yeah.
So, to have Drake May and that A.J. Brown combination is going to be really...
what a weird team. We're sitting here in June and we think we know who the head coach is, but we're not sure if anything weird is going to happen between now and then. Then how does that change the entire dynamic of the team? We think a May to A.J. Brown combination should be really, really good. But then is their running game really going to be as good as it was? A whole year of off-season for defensive coordinators to stare down a young quarterback and just design blitzes to stop May? Do we really know what we...
Trayvon Henderson I think, honestly, I'm just looking at this. When they got Randy Moss, it's like very similar. They got A.J. Brown. They were a really good team, had a great quarterback. And A.J. Brown's going to come in. He was a guy kind of did things his own way.
But remember, when they got Randy Moss, Tom Brady was already Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Drake May is not, like, this is going to sound hilarious. Drake May might not be Drake May yet. Well, can he put A.J. Brown in his place? Oh, he was great.
Yeah,
but do you have the leadership to put a head case in his place, which Tom Brady did with Randy Moss?
Once you walk through those doors, your head case goes away. I don't think he needs to do it.
Okay.
I think it's the Patriot way.
But what is the Patriot way? It is Tom Brady. So can it continue?
Well, yeah, because it wasn't, once they left, it was gone. But now that Vrabel's come back, it just seems like it's the way it always was.
And I think Vrabel will be there in 2 months, but it still seems a little fishy sometimes.
I would be shocked, absolutely shocked, if they got rid of him. Because Kraft knows the Patriot way. I mean, it's like when you I used to work at Discount Tire. If you didn't hustle, you were looked at like the oddball. So everybody just did their job. And once you build a culture of it, it's just the way it goes. So with him bringing that culture back, I would be shocked if he left. But when they got Randy Moss, it's just like A.J. Brown. He comes in and just does his job like everyone else does. They got a good running game, a dual-headed monster. Hunter Henry, I think, is going to be a top 10, top 8 tight end this year. So their defense is dope.
While you were at Discount Tire, I'm sorry you never got promoted to Santan Ford, 202 in Val Vista. You are not Santan Ford.
But
you weren't ready. You weren't ready.
No, I wasn't there. I was a young kid.
Help people out with their fantasy draft now in the sense of what should they look at come mid-July, come beginning of August? What is it that you guys look for during the early parts of training camp, week 1 of the preseason? What are the things that pop out to you?
A lot of storylines. You want to see literally what's coming out of camp. If you follow enough people on Twitter, if you follow enough, I mean, you're going to get it from Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport and all that, but also like the beat writers give you a lot of good information. They're going to tell you a lot of guys who are risers and fallers when it comes to camp. I think there's always that guy out of every camp that's really sparks. So you want to see that. And then especially preseason, game 1, game 2, game 3, we want to see just usage.
Because, that's the thing. With starters rarely playing anymore, what are you looking at?
Well, you get to see the backups.
Okay.
To me, all of our running back handcuffs, we're going to find.
Oh, okay.
You're going to find each one of those guys. Who's the number 2 to that number 1? That's a really important factor.
And I think those handcuffs are going to be more important than the others because when you have a Derrick Henry drop off or Christian McCaffrey and the backup comes in, you're going to get at best 60 to 70% of that production. There's no way they're just going to fill in, 300 yards. So when you have a dual-headed monster like a Harris and Henderson, you could literally get the backup and get the exact same production. So knowing who the actual handcuff backup is or the guy with the hot hand sometimes, because, I mean, Charbonnet was that way in Seattle. Sometimes he got 100 yards, 2 touchdowns, and Walker would get like 40 yards and no touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to look for those guys because sometimes in mid-year they lean towards the other guy and you don't want to lose a whole position where you could actually just, I'll put him on my bench and plug in the guy that's going to go.
There's no way, I think, in an unplugged Army league or in a league where, it's year to year, there's even going to be talk about Brendan Sorsby. But if you're in a keeper league, do you care? What are you looking at late round? Is there anything here with such a weird situation of a guy who you can draft coming up in a month or two that has 0 OTAs and didn't even know he was going to be in the NFL until a week ago?
Still a pretty good, talented kid.
He's still 6'4" and can hum it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a position that a guy will get drafted. And I think if it was me, I would definitely in rookie drafts be looking into him. Definitely late rounder guy, but he's a worthwhile draft pick.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting story for sure.
I mean, it's not something I would imagine fantasy gurus talk about of, do you think his addiction is solved and he's not going to relapse, and then therefore you just drafted a guy who gets suspended again? I mean, it's not something that's usually a topic.
He's definitely a risky pick.
Yeah.
Definitely because of that. I think character issues are something that we have to think about a little bit in fantasy football. Like Rashee Rice, the guy he's off my radar for this year because he feels like he is on his own thing right now. He went to jail for 30 days.
But he looked really fast dodging reporters. He got out of jail fast.
As soon as he was out, he was running them sprints. He did look good. Yeah, so it's the things like that. There's certain character issues, I mean, that definitely are something that you have to monitor. And so with Sorsby, you got to worry. Okay, is this guy going to start gambling again?
Guru Brad seems like the type of person that has slipped somebody, some guys, boxes of cigarettes in order to get Rashee Rice times in G-Pop. So how's he been looking? Did the correctional facility have a good weight training?
He actually requested boxes of Gushers.
Oh, did he?
He's a big Gusher fan. Okay. So yeah, I mean, whatever you want, we got you, buddy. But yeah, so it's been fun.
Final advice for fantasy players from the gurus with a Father's Day weekend caveat. Anything else we didn't cover that someone should pay attention to that could sway something in 2 months?
Probably just get down here and enjoy Belle's Kitchen's food.
Oh, there you go.
Okay. Try their burgers. I'm telling you, everyone talks about the chicken sandwiches, but try the burger.
I'll give you a little piece of advice, just more preparation. Like I'll say, like Brad already has a note in his phone that shows, several players that he's interested in this season. I think it's good to be that prepared. Just to have in June, 5 to 10 guys that are just on your mind and you're thinking, that guy's going to have a great season coming up.
Oh, he's showing me the list right now
with stars and those say he likes that player.
And since it's an auction draft, you already have dollar figures that you are interested in possibly spending.
Yeah.
As your budget is set.
And then so like if you're in a round by round snake draft, do the same thing. I want to spend. I'm willing to spend my second round on Josh Allen this year, or I'm willing to spend on Trey McBride in my second round this year. That type of thing.
Like for wide receivers, if you can go get a guy like T-Mac, Michael Wilson, and Chris Olave. If you go those three wide receivers, you will be set all year.
You like Olave?
Oh, yeah. What he did last year with no quarterback is amazing. And no other wide receivers because they all got hurt.
Yeah.
And he was still catching 100-yard bombs. So never really been a big fan of him, but last year changed my mind. So, and Parker Washington, too. Another cheap guy. Rich mentioned him earlier.
I did. Don't steal my guy.
That's awesome that you guys open up to each other for the benefit of the Unplugged Army.
Yeah.
When you don't want each other to know each other's strategies, but I'm assuming you guys know each other well enough, you know exactly what's going on.
Well, there are certain unwritten rules we have. So if you draft a rookie and he's on your team all year, next year, if we both have $15 in it, the other guy will back out if you draft him because you discovered him, you realized who he was. So if push comes to shove, there are little things we have.
There's fantasy honor system.
Yeah, honors amongst thieves, yes.
I wouldn't call us thieves by any means, but we have honor about certain things. Yes.
And last thing, we're okay with the setup in which we have every Monday night Guru Rich getting ready to handle on Tuesday mornings. I interview you Monday nights for Tuesday mornings to wrap up the year, and Guru Brad on a Wednesday night to give us kind of the Thursday night update and into the... No, we used to talk after Thursday night so we could react to Thursday night football and set up your football weekend. Everybody good with that? Because I loved it.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Good.
These words are binding.
There's your fantasy gurus to help you get ready for 2026. It's time for Versus. Well, I shouldn't be doing that. I'm pretty happy with Matthew Fitzpatrick saving me, even though the rest of the day wasn't very good. Oh, boy. I feel weird. And the reason why I say I feel weird is because I've got Matthew Fitzpatrick top 10 at plus 200. And he right now is tied for third at 3 under. So I'm really happy about that. But I haven't scheduled that. I don't know what my overall number looks like for Thursday yet because I went 1-1 on Thursday. Well, I mean for Thursday's show, not for Thursday day. My bets on Thursday bad. Went 1-3 yesterday. But I should feel worse. But if I get the plus 200, I don't feel as bad. I told you I like Seattle minus the 1.5 against Baltimore. They shut out the Orioles. I got that one right, 3-0. And then the Flameouts. I got Philly, I got the Cardinals, and I got Chechia all on the money line. And winning, I got the Mets, the Royals, and or it was a draw with South Africa. So I didn't get any of those three right and ended up 1-3. Bad day at the office. I am unbelievably confident on my picks today. Like, I'm not going to parlay them together, but I got some serious juice going here. I'm really happy. Toronto had to fly from the East Coast into the Cubs to play a day game. That's not easy. So we got the Cubs on the money line against the Blue Jays. Cleveland was up north and had to fly all the way down to Houston. And it's a pitching matchup in which Bibee hasn't been able to get any run support all year. So I like Houston on the money line against the Guardians. Love the Diamondbacks today. You get plus 125 juice if you take them to cover the run line at minus 1.5. And Minnesota had a game yesterday while the Diamondbacks had the rare home off day. So they haven't traveled since last Sunday, played 3 games, had an off day. Everybody's rested, ready to go. I love the Diamondbacks minus the 1.5. I love Seattle minus the 1.5. The Mariners played yesterday against the Orioles, but at least they were home. Boston played yesterday and had to fly all the way across the country without a day off. So Boston was at Fenway yesterday. They're in Seattle tonight. I'm all over it. Plus, who knows how loud it was in the hotel? Because remember, the Mariners play downtown as well as the U.S. is playing across the street at noon. I mean, granted, the Mariners game is a night game, but still, it's at 7:10, but still, the attitude going around there, it's got to be such a distraction to the Red Sox. I love the game for Seattle to win it. I got the U.S. bad juice, but I got the U.S. beating Australia. I don't think they're going to score a lot, so I didn't take them other than just on the money line. The juice is a little nasty. It's minus 160. But the positive juice I have on the Mariners and the positive juice I have on the Diamondbacks, I think more than makes up for it. And then my last game is I don't know anything about it, but I like the confidence of young Jackson Asher. So we're going to take Tucson plus the 15.5. We get over 2 touchdowns to take on an Arizona Rattlers team that's been struggling. Okay. I still think the Rattlers win, but maybe they win by 7, they win by 10, and we walk away with a winner. I could easily see a backdoor cover for Tucson to get it close at the end after they were losing. But mostly I'm just putting my money where Jackson Asher's mouth is. So we'll see if I get that right. But we got 6 games, and I feel really good about them. Really good about them. Okay, sound credits today. I got the Rory McIlroy from the USGA YouTube page. And I got the Weston McKinney and the Mauricio Pochettino from the Fox on Sports YouTube page. No, Fox Soccer YouTube page is where I got those. Hey, that does it for not only today, but that does it for this week of Doug Franz Unplugged, presented by Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. Thanks for handling some of my limitations as it relates to production skills. I did the best I could, and it seemed like a lot of people were okay with it. Hopefully you loved the gurus. I really appreciated having them on and appreciated going to lunch for them. Shout out to Nick at Belle's and everybody on the kitchen staff. The food was absolutely outstanding. The original sponsor of Doug Franz Unplugged. Whirlwind Golf Club at Wild Horse Pass. The cattail's in fantastic shape, and they're getting Devil's Claw up and ready to open. It's a perfect time to become a Whirlwind Plus member. A perfect time with all the events that they have scheduled that you'll be able to jump on. They've got a thank you dinner coming up July 26th is the next big event for all Whirlwind Plus members. All you have to do is just, if you want any help, is just email me, Doug at DougFranzUnplugged.com, and I can get you set up, or you can go to whirlwindgolf.com. Santan Ford's at 202 in Val Vista. I am Santan Ford. Click on mobile services in the middle of the top middle of the website, and get your oil change scheduled today. And you don't have to leave your home or your place of business as long as you're within 25 miles of the dealership. Burrito Express has locations all across the east side and coming to a Circle K near you. I stopped by 100 Mile Brewing Company yesterday, had some cheese curds, and had I think 3 A Mountain Amber Ales. I had to pace myself. I watched 2 different soccer games. So I was actually there for 5 hours. That was not part of the plan, but hey, had a wonderful time there and got to know people and talked to Sue for a while. Saw Rocket Bill, who was there, so that was awesome. Saw Brunick as well. Pennyroyal Promotions, slap a logo on anything. Why does that matter? They're a member of the Unplugged Army, really good people, and the main thing is they get it done right, and they really back up their product. So whenever you need a logo or business cards or something printed, use Pennyroyal Promotions. Goodyear Fit Body Boot Camp, inspiring fitness and changing lives every day. At AG Kleino on Twitter, an original member of the Unplugged Army. Trophy in Chandler in the Ocotillo Shopping Center. All of your local Wendy's, big sponsors, home of the new and improved spicy chicken sandwich, and the best pizza in town, Slice House by Tony Gemignani. Al, I've been on fire this week. USA, USA, USA.
Doug, thank you so much. My best to your listeners, and keep up the work on Doug Franz Unplugged.